Beginning the bulletin with the breaking news that is coming in on the network as of now. When asked to comment on India's Home Minister's acquisitions on Pakistan of supporting terrorism, Pakistan Defence Minister Khwaja Asif rejected these claims. He said Pakistan doesn't support terrorism. It morally supports Kashmiri efforts for freedom. He also warned India by blaming Pakistan for Uri attack or any attempt to escalate the tension will prove expensive for Indians. So the latest on the series of denials by Pakistan establishment. Let me quickly go across to Kaswar Klasra, who is joining us from Pakistan for more on this. Kaswar, the Indian side has been saying that Pakistan continues to remain in denial. This is now the Defence Minister towing the line of the DGMO Pakistan.
Yes, definitely. As you have rightly mentioned that the Pakistan Defence Minister has taken a tough stand when he talked about the Indian accusation against Pakistan. He argued that yes, Pakistan has been and is right now morally supporting the Kashmiris for their cause, but they are nothing to do with that act there in Indian control Kashmir early in the morning today. And definitely, you will appreciate to know that the Pakistan's Defence Minister has given a tough stance on Twitter as well. He said by blaming Pakistan for Uri and any attempt to escalate tension to reflect tension from state terrorism, Kashmir will prove expensive for India.
Okay, thank you so much, Kaswar, for bringing us all those details from across the border. 17 army jawans have been martyred in a terror attack at an army unit in Uri sector of Jammu and Kashmir. According to army, a group of heavily armed terrorists targeted the administrative base of a unit. Following a fierce gun battle that lasted for several hours, 4 terrorists were gunned down. While the combing operations are still underway, UAVs have been deployed in the area to locate more terrorists. Here's a complete report.
This army camp in Uri near the line of control. 4 terrorists sneaked into the army camp, breaching a fence at around 5:30 on Sunday morning. Around 7 a.m., heavy smoke was seen billowing out of the army camp as tented barracks caught fire after terrorists exploded grenades. A fierce gun battle followed as the army engaged the terrorists. First reports said 6 jawans were injured. The army then airdropped special forces to battle the terrorists. 3 choppers were sent from Baramulla to Uri. After 4 hours of relentless gun battle, the 4 terrorists were gunned down. News then filtered out that 17 jawans had lost their lives.
The operation here in the brigade headquarters of the army in Uri near line of control is now over by the elimination of all the 4 armed Fidayeen militants who had been neutralized, and a heavy catch of arms and ammunition has been recovered from them, including the maps which were clearly showing these locations of army here in the brigade headquarters. They have targeted 10 Dogra unit inside this brigade headquarters where 17 jawans lost life and also 20 jawans are injured. 8 of them are seriously injured.
The breach of an army camp so easily by terrorists has once again raised questions on security at defense outfits. Clearly, it appears no lessons were learned from Pathankot. Bureau Report, India Today.
India Today has got an inside story of the Uri terror attack. Terrorists attacked the block of the army which constituted unarmed soldiers, refilling diesel in barrels from the fuel tanks. Springing a surprise, the terrorists lobbed 17 grenades in just 3 minutes. In fact, triggering massive fire in barracks and tents. Here is India Today's exclusive.
Brigade headquarters of army in the Uri is not only the oldest army brigade but even the most important army brigades in the Kashmir Valley, particularly being located near the line of control and on the Srinagar-Muzaffarabad road itself. Basically, we are going to brief the whole situation of this terror attack here. Just behind me, this is the river Jhelum, which passes through the Kashmir Valley and finally goes to Pakistan through Pak-occupied Kashmir. And here it is the exit point of this river, and on the banks of Jhelum here is a huge plateau which is completely under the army control. Not only here is the brigade headquarters which you are seeing in the visuals, but even also some administrative blocks of different battalions who are deployed on the front line posts and on the line of control. And same was the location of the 10 Dogra Regiment administrative block. Just you can see after 10 hours almost all, still the smoke is coming out on that particular patch which was targeted by the Jaish-Fidayeen squad here early morning on Sunday. But the big question is how these suicide attackers managed their entry into this highly guarded and most important army installation. That is the biggest worry so far with the army here in the Jammu and Kashmir as well as at the national level. That if this huge army compound is being guarded around the clock at each and every spot, how these Fidayeen militants managed their entry inside deep to this compound and targeted the specific battalion which was on the transition, and also usually in that particular place 50 to 60 jawans stay, but on this night there were 100 almost army jawans and officers who were stationed there, and some of them were even without the weapons because they were not concerned as they were deep inside the army compound of brigade headquarters. They are aware that it is being safely and heavily guarded around the clock. That was a big worry, and that is why the army casualties took so much toll and so many jawans are injured. Now the biggest question for which the inquiry has been also ordered is that where was the breach of security which allowed these militants to infiltrate inside this heavily guarded armored brigade and then target the specific army location. In the coming days, probably that report will come out, and probably the army will be able to find the lapses in this kind of terror attack here in Uri. With cameraman Roof Ahmed Ashrafani for India Today in Uri.
Exposing Pakistan yet again, the Indian army has asserted that terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed was behind the deadly Uri attack. Confirming the Jaish link, the army revealed that articles recovered from the terrorists had Pakistan markings on them. As the DGMO of Indian Army spoke to his counterpart in Pakistan expressing concern, the big question is, will Pakistan continue to remain in denial?
January 2nd, the Pathankot airbase attacked. September 18, an army camp attacked in Uri. On your screens are scenes from two of the deadliest terror strikes against the forces. What's strikingly similar in the two attacks is that the terrorists were highly trained and heavily armed. Trained, armed and motivated by the same outfit operating out of Pakistan, Jaish-e-Mohammed. It is now confirmed that Hafiz Saeed's Jaish-e-Mohammed was behind the Uri attack. As Pakistan remains in denial, it stands exposed yet again. Clear evidence that the attackers were from across the border.
The terrorists had some items which had Pakistani markings on that. I have spoken to the Pakistan Director General of Military Operations and conveyed our serious concerns about the same.
Despite pressure by India against Saeed, Pakistan is refusing to crack down on terrorists using its soil. More proof that the Pakistani government is patronizing terrorists for its own ulterior motives.
As per the army, the attackers in Uri were from the Jaish-e-Mohammed militant outfit. The weapons, the AK-47 rifles that were recovered from them had cleared Pakistani markings. The DGMO of Indian Army has spoken to his counterpart and expressed serious concern over this deadly attack.
With Shujaul Haq in Kashmir, Bureau Report, India Today.
The Indian Army suffered one of its biggest casualties as 17 soldiers were killed and more than 25 injured in this attack in Uri. And while 2 out of the 3 terrorist squads which infiltrated from Pakistan have been neutralized, one terror group is still on the move, looking for another opportunity.
Pakistan-backed terrorists striking in the valley once again. 17 army jawans martyred in a cowardly terror attack on India's army camp. Days before the dastardly attack, according to intelligence input, 3 Fidayeen squads crossed over the line of control. Even the former army general has claimed that he had warned the army about the impending attack.
And I want to quickly bring in India Today's editor Shiv Arur for more on this story. Shiv, what more are your sources telling you?
Well, this is a desperate Pakistan doing what it does best, Gaurav.
India Today was the first to report 2 days ago that Pakistan is getting desperate to make global headlines on Jammu and Kashmir ahead of Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's address to the United Nations General Assembly.
Alert has been shared with the Jammu and Kashmir police, the CRPF and the army.
After the 3-day-long gun battle, 1 terror squad was neutralized in Poonch on September 12th. However, the 2nd Pakistani terror squad reached Uri and targeted the army camp. Adding to the security agency's worries, the 3rd Fidayeen squad is still on the prowl. Sources suggest it is looking for soft target along Srinagar highway and can target any army, CRPF, BSF locations or convoy. With around 5 heavily armed and highly trained terrorists believed to be traveling together, the security forces are on high alert. Bureau Report, India Today.
Enough is the voice rising in India. The chorus demanding to make Pakistan pay is now growing. India's attempts for cordial relations with Pakistani government have repeatedly been answered with betrayal and terror attacks. Condemning the Uri attack, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today assured the nation no one responsible for bleeding India will be spared. But will tough talk translate into action? Take a look at this story.
Intense pressure on Modi government to review its Pakistan policy. The Uri attack and the response from India is the litmus test of the Modi government. Prime Minister Modi's repeated outreach to Pakistan has been betrayed once more. India's attempts for cordial relations with Nawaz Sharif-led Pakistan government has been answered with terror strikes time and again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's stern warnings from the G20 and other platforms have not worked. Voices from within the government now indicate India's patience is running out. Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Sunday even called Pakistan a terrorist state.
आज की घटना इस बात के लिए हमें तैयार करती है कि आगे के लिए हमें और हमारी सुरक्षा फोर्सेस को और भी तैयार होना पड़ेगा.
I think time has come to call this bluff and to disrobe those who are playing this mischief.
Election aggravates, the valley continues to suffer. The Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir has lashed out at the perpetrators of Uri attack. She has said that those who carry out such attacks have only one intention: to vitiate the atmosphere of Jammu and Kashmir, which is already very turbulent. She also said that these attacks go on to increase the aggression and increase the tension between India and Pakistan, and eventually the victims of this are the people of Jammu and Kashmir state. What is now clear is that Uri attack has set the India-Pakistan relations back to a situation where chances of any dialogue look extremely slim. Vishuddha Hakim, Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now let's listen in to the security experts we spoke to on the Uri attack. A unanimous call that India should now take tough action.
General Atta Hasnain, I want to come to you first, sir. What do you make of the Uri terror attack, the Poonch terror attack, and the pattern that's now emerging?
Gaurav, it's absolutely clear. There is no two ways about it. There is a linkage between these attacks, all of them, and what is happening in the hinterland. You see, Pakistan over a period of time has lost its hold and control over the operations which were taking place inside the valley. With a strength of less than 300 terrorists, Pakistan was obviously not in a position to be able to control the entire movement which was going on out here. The killing of Burhan Wani and the subsequent civil disobedience, stone throwing, has all come to its assistance and has been able to rejuvenate this entire campaign. However, to do that, it does not have enough boots on the ground inside the valley. What it has got is enough boots on ground in the training camps, in the launch pads, and they can carry out infiltration, short, shallow infiltration to the through the LOC and strike areas which are not too much in depth, but are installations nevertheless, and which have some tactical and operational importance. All these, we have been repeatedly seeing attacks at Tangdar. We've seen the attempt at Poonch, and Uri was just waiting to happen.
This is a time to take strong action and, of course, teach Pakistan a lesson. This is these people are not non-state actors. This is active support of Pakistan army.
Absolutely. I think the time for diplomacy is over, because when you say diplomacy, you mean that we need to engage with the political leadership of the country. Now, we all know, and it's very clear to the entire world, who runs or who calls the shots inside Pakistan. Another factor that I'd like to point out here is that when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif went for his heart operation, there was a certain tune he was singing before he was wheeled into the operation theatre. He was all love and joy as far as India was concerned. He was talking on all matters, including terrorism. And he met so many people from India. As soon as he came out after his heart operation, they said that he had a change of heart, literally. And then he started singing the Kashmir tune and he became hyper aggressive. So I very honestly feel that there is no point in further diplomacy. We have tried diplomacy with Pakistan and we have failed. And this is the time when we must stand up and say that we wish to exercise the military option against Pakistan.
Colonel Shafqat Saeed, if I may draw you into this conversation, why should the Indian army not resort to artillery attacks along the line of control, at least from the points from where infiltration has taken place, sir?
Which infiltration? What infiltration? I have served in Kashmir thrice, and I have never seen that there are unconnected posts in Kashmir. Your complete border is sealed. A bird may pass through, but not a human being.
Respond to that, Major Arya. You've been posted along the line of control. Is there merit in what the Colonel says?
There is absolutely no merit in what the Colonel is saying. I have seen infiltration with my own eyes. What the Pakistani army does
Why
is...
did you see it?
You're way off base here. You don't know what you're talking about, sir. I'll tell you. The people you send, we kill.
Slipping into a very short break at this moment. Coming back with much more on the other side. Stay tuned.